then he says, but you guys need to agree on what you disagree on before that hearing actually happens, and you have till the 6th to do that. Clowns.
The car's rolling backwards. My dumb uncle probably was drunk. He's got no lights on in the middle of the woods, and he's just letting the car fall backwards down a hill.
Sounds dirty. It sounds like a vampire came on your face.
I know. It also sounds like super like Hunger Games District 1 kind of shit, you know?
Dude, she did a whole 1-hour interview once with Barry fucking Manilow. Barry Manilow. The problem with music today is there's no melody.
I'm Diane Rehm. It appears that Brian Walsh also, not only did he bring his son along with him on his, dismemberment supply runs, not only did he mug for the cameras, it also appears that he used CVS coupons to buy his dismemberment supplies.
Cowboy Fan 105, where the fuck he is. You can go fuck yourself, Cowboy Fan 105. And they tweeted back like something about how I'm definitely sleeping with Turtleboy.
He has screwed up the Sandra Birchmore case. He's screwed up parts of the Brian Walsh case. He's screwed up parts of the Karen Reed case. Why is he still in a position of power and authority?
Good question.
In any capacity.
You don't know me, but you have a piece of toilet paper hanging out of the back of your pants. And not only did I have a piece of toilet paper, I had a piece of toilet paper like this long. And it was like
so nice of her. I want to state this for the record. We absolutely 100% do know that his name is Joe Paul. In my brain, he is Tommy Paul.
That's right.
You don't need to correct me. I know his name. But I call him Tommy Paul or Tommy Boy. And Rebecca reminds us that that is the Walmart knockoff brand of Tommy jeans.
Tommy Hilfiger or whatever.
I want that. Hey, we played the long intro today. It was kind of funny. I liked watching it.
Me too.
Hi, Rebecca.
Me too. Hey, Mel, how are you?
It's been a week, but anyway, we're here, and I'm Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
And welcome to Something's Off, which is a true crime podcast where basically we cover cases that we're always asking the question, are you friggin' kidding me right now?
Yeah, we do. We also gossip. Yeah. We also, it's tangent centric. Also, by the way, I think I might be hearing you through your computer mic and not your mic. So go like this.
Oh, no.
Oh, no? I hear you. I hear it. Yeah, you're good.
All right, let me check.
You're just a little off mic, maybe. That's all.
No, you're right.
I'm right. Oh, those ears.
Right.
There it is.
Is that better?
That's so much better. That's so much better.
Okay,
you sounded a little bit like you were in a public toilet a second ago.
I don't have Ruby behind me today, so I'm like, I keep sitting back, which I don't normally do, and I have to remember to stay closer to the microphone. She's at the vet right now, so.
Someone else said, Mel, you're glowing. That's what I said. I said your color looked really good.
I changed my lighting setup, you all.
Yes.
I can Vogue now.
Yeah, you look really good. You look really good.
Thank you.
I'm still working on. I have the more yellowy light on. I think I made the blue light, but the blue light, full transparency, when it's a little bit bluer, it's harder for me to transition from that to reading without needing my eyes to. So it's like I can look really good or be able to read. Like there's nothing in between. So can we just talk about the fact that our age caught up with both of us this week in a whole ass way? What is going on with you?
So we had this stupid snow here, I'm in Maryland, and let me just tell you. So we had the snowstorm last Saturday. That's when it started, and it went overnight, and that was it. And there was maybe 8 inches of snow out there. The kids have not been back to school.
Still,
they had school off today.
As a native New Englander, this must be driving you nuts.
It's making me crazy because they didn't pre-treat the roads properly or the sidewalks or anything like that. And then what they did was they let it snow and they waited to plow. And by the time they waited to plow, it had that layer of ice on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
And so everything's a friggin' mess. Like there are lanes missing on the road because it hasn't been plowed properly. And all of DC, DC is almost like undrivable, unwalkable at this point. It's a friggin' mess here. And it's been so cold that none of it's melting.
Right.
So it's all ice. It's all big snowbanks of ice and it's awful. But anyway, I went out to shovel because we live in like a community where the sidewalks and the streets and everything are taken care of, but we have to shovel our little stoopy area.
Yeah.
And I went out to shovel the stoop. it's 5 feet of snow, like 5 feet long.
Yeah.
I used to shovel like a 200-foot driveway
Yeah,
at my
yeah,
parents' house, right? So
yeah.
I'm used to shoveling. I also lived in Somerville, so I'm used to shoveling out spots for the cars and all this shit.
Oh, did
I
you
go
do
out
the chair?
there.
You put a chair out after you shoveled it?
You know
Like
what
a
I
little
used to do? I used to take my recycling bin and I would put a cinder block inside of it because people would come up and they want to quickly move it, so they go to grab it and they just chuck it.
Yeah.
And when they would pick it up to chuck it, it would have a cinder block in it, safe space, space savers. But yeah, so I go out to shovel this like 5 feet of, area, and everything's fine. I shoveled it. I went back inside. I went back out it later and I shoveled it again so that it wouldn't accumulate with ice. The next day, I couldn't move my left arm.
Mm.
I had done something to it. I couldn't raise it over my shoulder. I couldn't pull up my own pants. I couldn't get dressed. I couldn't put a bra on.
This
I
is
couldn't do
not
anything.
funny, except for the image of you having to be like, Lindsey, I need
It
help
was. I
pulling up
was
my
like,
pants.
babe,
Yeah.
can you come help me pull up my pants?
Yeah.
I couldn't put socks on. I couldn't do anything. And I was in so much pain. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't like get into any position that didn't hurt. And I did that I let it be like that for like 4 or 5 days before I finally was like, okay, it's not going away. Something's wrong. Finally went to the doctor.
Something's
Got on
off, as it were.
something's off. I got on some steroids and some muscle relaxers, and I got a referral for like a cortisone shot. But I am happy to say that I played tennis for the first time in 2 weeks today, and it
Ooh.
feels a little bit better. It's okay.
You'd
But
frozen
I had
shoulder is what that diagnosis was, right?
It wasn't. It was actually not frozen shoulder. That's what I thought it was because that's a menopause symptom.
Yeah.
And I think it's like an old age symptom.
Uh-huh.
But no, I actually strained my bicep. And the bicep went all the way up into my armpit and across my shoulder.
That's what happened. Remember I told you about the butt pain might be actually your hip? Like what happens like when you get older is that everything that connects that used to be fine by a foot.
Yeah.
All those connections go haywire. It's crazy.
Yeah, when my calf muscle gets too tight, I feel like my Achilles is gonna snap.
Exactly. Oh, I actually had, when I broke my leg like in 20 whatever it was, I broke it 2018 or whatever.
Yeah.
I had surgery in 2020 to fix it, or 2019 to fix it because it never healed. And they actually stretched my Achilles tendon, which helped so much. It helped all my hip stuff like go away. Like they stretched it like a rubber band.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
I got to do something. But yeah, it was a mess. I actually had to cancel my trip to New York. I was supposed to go middle of the week. I don't remember. I was supposed to go to New York for the Nightline thing. So now I'm going tomorrow all day. And then I'm coming back on Wednesday. And then I'm traveling to Gloucester on Thursday to celebrate my birthday with all
home of the perfect storm.
I think we're going to be like, we're right on the tip of Gloucester too. I think we're like past Manchester by the sea. And there's that boat.
Dennis Lehane's home place,
I love
man.
It.
We're going to I'm going to come visit you and we're going to reenact scenes from The Town. We're going to reenact scenes from Gone Baby Gone.
Gone Baby
We're going to
Gone.
reenact scenes from
What was the
The
other
Perfect
one?
Storm.
Mystic River is my favorite.
Mystic River, yeah. Mystic River is so bleak.
I love that movie.
So
and
bleak.
They shot it around where I lived in that area. So,
wow.
But yeah, so that's what's happening over here. And I'm just like, I'm kind of pissed. On top of everything, it's friggin' cold.
Yeah. It's cold here too. It's been like 0 here.
I know.
We've got 2 feet of snow, but it's fluff, thank God. So it's
Are you going to hold up your pinky?
Yes. So Saturday morning.
I saw the pictures, y'all.
You saw the picture when it was bad.
Those
Saturday morning, I took an Einstein bagel that I'd procured earlier in the week out of my freezer. I microwaved it for 20 seconds because that's the key to reheating frozen bagels. Microwave for 20 seconds and then you get that extra chew in the middle. Like it actually really works. And then I took a new knife that our friend Todd, who's a cook and a reconstructive surgeon, had given us because he knows that Kevin's a big cook. And he's like, you guys need this serrated knife. It's fucking amazing. It's only $8. And the best part about it is you throw it away when you're done with it. And I'm like, really? And not understanding the power of the new knife. I used to work at a bagel shop when I was in high school. And the technique we used to be told to use, because we didn't have a slicer back in the 80s, is we put it flat on the counter like this, started it, and then turn it up this way and go down so it's not facing your hand. So I put it flat on the counter like this,
Oh
and that fucking knife went through it.
I can see your little
so
pinky
fast
hanging over.
that it cut off the tip of my
Oh my God.
pinky almost all the way. So it was like a flap, like one of the I told you it was like one of the South Park Canadians, like it was like boop 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 boop. I had done almost exactly the same thing last year to the finger next to it. And my reconstruction surgeon friend Todd sewed it up. But when he sewed it up, because he's a reconstructive surgeon, and this is important for this story, he put the stitches were so tiny and he put them so close to the surface of the skin that like the next day I still had a Band-Aid on it, but I felt fine. Not with this motherfucker. Sorry to swear. I went to Convenient MD, and when they unwrapped my finger, it was like one of those Saturday Night Live skits where they chop off someone's head and the blood just like squirts like a hose. It happened to me.
The Canadians.
So I soaked through 3 of those, like, those things that like pee pads that they put on the tray that you put something on to bleed. I soaked through 3 of them to keep switching them out. They just could not get it to stop bleeding no matter what they tried. So finally, she was just like, all right, so I'm going to put some shit on it that's going to hurt. It'll stop bleeding like for a brief time, enough for me to at least get a couple of stitches in so I can start. And I was like, no problem. She's like, but first I have to numb your thumb. And this was not like my reconstructive surgeon friend did at all. No shade to the Convenient MD lady. She did her best. They gave me like all of these shots around the base of my pinky. And I don't know if you can tell, but I have the skinniest fingers in the entire world. So basically every time.
But you got good nails. The nails look good.
Well, thank God I had them done the day before, because now I don't have to get them. I can't do anything with my hands for like a week and a half. So anyway, the shots went all the way down to the bone because my fingers are so skinny. So then she did that. Then she put a tourniquet on, which, hand to God, is just a cock ring for your finger. That's all it is. Yeah. It's just a rubber ass. Yeah, it's all it is. I mean, I've seen
micro
totally.
dick cock ring. Yeah.
Oh, totally. And then she did this butchery job stitching the top, which is the only way she could do it because it was like bleeding. She had no field. She had an assistant. So anyway, this thing hurts so much. It's like debilitating. Like, so I'm on meds now. I have my alarm is going to go off in about 15 minutes and I got to take Advil. I'm doing like the Tylenol Advil rotation, right?
Yep.
It only starts working after like the 3rd round. And then I woke up in the middle of the night last night screaming and crying. It hurts so much. It's debilitating when it hurts. And like I can't type. So I'll say today I was like boop, 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 boop. So but I also doing that. And then I also today got a freaking flu shot and a pneumococcal shot when I went to the doctor. So like they're like, oh, move your left arm a lot. I'm like, no, I will not. So anyway, yeah, I hurt my pinky, and it will be a funny story someday. But right now I'm legit suffering from a pinky injury. And I'm counting it toward menopause stuff because I just stuck in my head the memory mechanics of using the knife, not adjusting for the new thing in time. And
it's like when I almost cut my finger off like a month or so ago with the axe in my woodworking shop.
Yes.
I remember I swung the axe and I felt it hit and I thought, oh, I just cut the whole top of my finger off. Before I looked at it, I was like, when you look down, your finger is going to be like, how do they do that?
Like this?
Wait. No, it was, what's that magic trick that your uncle, oh, this one.
I like this.
It's going to be like this.
Isn't it amazing how when you first do yourself, it's happening when I broke my leg too, like it doesn't hurt at all, but you know it's gonna.
Oh yeah.
Because the shock, like the adrenaline. And then the other thing happens, and you probably felt this with your shoulder. I've had this with my finger now since Saturday. Yeah. Pain causes all this adrenaline situation. So you're like exhausted all the time. And I'm like, it's like a joke, this thing. No, but it's a joke.
Not. Your body's in shock.
This hurts more than after I broke my leg. I am not kidding. It hurts so much because now it's all blue. Like it's fucking gross. Anyway, so that's what's going on with us.
Yeah.
I just before it turned to February sent a big batch of stickers out. But I want to let folks know that if you want to become a member and put your name on the Google form that's on our homepage for our YouTube channel. So our channel homepage is a form there. Click it. It leads to a Google form. You just put your name, address with this notes thing. I am having special edition stickers made for February.
I've seen them.
That will be the stickers. And I think you guys are going to like them. But if you prefer the old school ones, just put it in the notes. I can also send these. This is what's going out now. I still have some of these left. Dream and Never Cease Eternity, Mel's pop group from when she was a child, and I love Straight Bears. And I love them even more now that David Yannetti has become such a wonderful asshole on Twitter. I love him.
I love it. He's such a good,
he's the model for all of us.
Yeah, he's pretty great. Also, Vic says, I loved meeting you both at the Mass Crime Con. What?
Hi, Vic.
I'm not going to ask your real name, but hi, Vic.
Hi, Vic.
It was nice to meet you too.
Wonderful.
And then Cassie said 2 things. I'll put it up on the screen. Did you watch the 2020 Friday night? It was the murder of a girl from Chicopee. The story the mom told of the state police of Mass shared pictures of the deceased girl to all. What?
Oh my God. We will look into that.
That's crazy. Also, Brittany Michelle says that their husband is a chiropractor, that they keep him humble by calling him a fake doctor, but highly recommend getting regular adjustments for alignment. I've been thinking about it a lot. I've never gone to a chiropractor.
Too scared.
Yeah. I heard a couple of those stories where somebody went to the chiropractor and they had a neck adjustment and died. And I was like, that'll be me.
Or they were like paraplegic for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I'm just too scared. I also hate I crack my knuckles, but any other thing in my body cracks. And I'm like, no.
Oh, this is a follow-up to the 2020 story. The mom was able to sue the state for $10 million, settled for
1.1 million?
I don't know, but those are a lot of zeros. Pure Duckery is in Rockport, Massachusetts, and I love Rockport, Massachusetts, one of my favorite towns in Massachusetts. Yeah, I was about to say this one too. Did you hear about that boat
yeah.
Did you hear about there was she was studying marine biology and it was like I'm so sad, but that's where we're actually going. Yeah, they lost their 5 crew members. Lily Jean. Apparently everybody, it was like father and son were on the boat. Just awful. Let's see. Any other big... I emailed you our group pic. Oh, awesome. Oh yeah. And speaking of the stickers, I posted this on in our post, but I think also on Facebook.
Yes, join our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group, which I don't think we've talked about enough on the show. So
yeah, it's a private group called Something's Off with Mel Barrett and Rebecca Lavoie, and we have over 600 members, and it's a really good it's a great conversation. There's good conversation, there's good debate happening. Respectful. I love good, honest debate.
By the way, Dr. Pepper, I'm willing to make you the official beverage of this podcast.
Oh, I was going to say Diet Coke because I'm always drinking a Diet Coke. But I mean, they're Dr. Pepper
or Diet Root Beer, my favorites. I love them.
Yeah. So that's where we are right now. And I have to say, there's a ton of news happening, Karen Reed adjacent and otherwise.
One moment.
Yes.
Can we just thank everybody for helping us get over our 3,000 subscriber milestone?
We're almost at 4,000
and way past. And thank you so much, people who have joined up to be members of this channel. We will be sending you stickers, doing all sorts of cool stuff for you. And thank you to folks who have sent a tip to our Venmo or Cash App. Mel works super hard on this show. Every single dollar that is spent on memberships and tips for the show is what actually makes us able to produce the show. So we super duper appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I am super thankful for everybody. And also we've had a bunch of memberships, which makes me really happy. I think that people were like, don't expect YouTube to be super successful in the beginning. It takes a long time, which I know. I've had a few YouTube channels before that just never went anywhere. And so it feels really amazing to see all these members and to know that people want to be here with us. And I think we should probably, I was thinking maybe we could do a members only AMA.
That'd be fun.
Ask me anything kind of thing.
I also want to say that there's a ton. I see all of you, OG Crime Writers On listeners among our members. I'm sending out these stickers, and I'm like, this person's in our Patreon. This person's in our. I've known this person I've met this person at conferences, and I cannot thank you enough for supporting, especially financially supporting a whole other thing that we're doing here. It's just so lovely of you. And I don't think I don't see you because I do. And then I yell your name out to Kevin and he's like, yep, in our Patreon, you're right. Because I recognize all the names because we're such a tight little community over there at Crime Writers on Land. So
Yeah, and my Patreon is small and still growing, but there are a bunch of my Patreon members over here too, and that just makes me so happy to see everybody. So yeah, thank you guys.
One of the things that we wanted to address, because we know that a lot of you, are not here to talk about politics. And so when we talk about things that are also in the political sphere, we try to make it relevant to our conversation. It's often about the media. It's often about, a crime being committed in real time, something like that. But Mel needs an outlet to talk more about the stuff that's critical to her.
Yeah.
And so, Mel, you're going to be launching a new YouTube channel to which you can direct all of your rage and concern and questions.
Yes. Some of it is rage, and some of it is just that I think I've gotten to the point where I just don't really trust legacy sort of mainstream media anymore, and I haven't for a while. And I talk all the time about how I sort of rage watch the Abby Phillip Newsnight, where she has a round table of 5 pundits, usually 2 heavy MAGA, 2 heavy MAGA, 2 heavy liberal, 1 either legal mind or neutral. And the entire show is just them taking jibes at each other and screaming at each other. And no one's listening to each other. But the funny thing about it is her whole tagline at the beginning of the show is like, no one in America is talking to each other, but here we do. And I'm like, you aren't talking to each other. You're just screaming at each other. And you're making these weird underhanded comments, and you're taking talking points from your 2 parties, and you're just selling those talking points, and you will not hear past.
It's not a real conversation. Right.
No. So what I want to do, I mean, it's funny because you're on tech streams with me and Maggie and Ellen, and Maggie and I are both like fired up, like always talking about politics, angry, whatever. Ellen is too sometimes. And I'm like, okay, well, we can get together and sort of have a round table and talk about these things. But I also want to bring in people who don't share the same opinions as me and who maybe are coming from a different political perspective to have the kind of debates that we have, or the kind of discussions that we have, like on our Facebook page,
right,
where we can listen to each other. Like, I want to have Turtleboy on. I want to, so I'm hoping to do that. I haven't launched anything yet, but I do think it would be a good outlet for the people who do want to talk about politics, who are fans of this show, who, can come over and listen and talk to us about politics on a different channel. Yeah. Right. And obviously you're going to be on the show as well.
Of course I will. I can talk about media coverage. I can talk about all sorts of things. I can, I oversee a civics show in my day job. We actually have an episode that's coming out tomorrow. We've pulled it twice because it needs to be edited so much about what is the job that ICE is supposed to be doing, like what is the agency for, and the difference between ICE officers and ICE agents and all that stuff. And and it's really good, except so much news has come out since we started making the episode that we've had to pull it like twice. And I hope it's coming out tomorrow. So I talk about this stuff a lot at work. And so I'll be honest, this podcast is kind of escapist for me as well. So, aside from the stuff that I can't really talk about because of my day job, I also sometimes feel like, God, I just spent 6 hours talking about that. Can we just talk about the McAlberts instead?
Yeah. And there's been so much to talk about lately. Liz Mizerick, I'm going to say, wants to know if they can suggest names. Yes, please. So Abby Phillip's show is called Newsnight with Abby Phillip, and I'm thinking of calling mine Newslight with Mel Barrett.
Oh,
so
that's not bad.
I'm very much open to suggestions. And then Becky got their stickers. They were the only mail when they got home from their trip to Kentucky. Very snow, but thank you. You are welcome. That's all Rebecca. All Rebecca.
So she saw my shit ass handwriting. I can barely
saying
write.
That. I haven't gotten my stickers yet.
You haven't? I sent them a long time ago.
Oh, well,
have you checked the? Oh, yeah. I have some of the envelopes I sent, maybe even that one. Like, I start writing the address and I realize, I just like and I just cross it out and keep going, and it looks like I missed a whole year of elementary school. My writing, like, it's so bad, and my hand super hurts when I write. Like, it's real bad. I don't have any good like pencil holding technique. So
because we don't write enough anymore.
Yeah, well, but I've always had this issue, and I've never been good at it. And I'm like a writer. Like, so when I was a little kid, I hated writing because I thought writing was this. It was only when I got my first Brother word processor when I went to college in 1991
brother.
that I realized that one doesn't have to do this all the time anymore. And by the way, for the youngs, a Brother word processor was a typewriter that had a 4-line screen.
They still make them. You can still use them.
You could just do and 4 lines of text was all you could see, and you could go back and correct, which that was the miracle.
That was the big one.
Yep. And then you printed when you were done. The problem was, imagine trying to proofread something where you only have 4 lines of text screen. But it had the printer cartridge was actually a wheel. It was like anyway.
I had one.
So so you're gonna see my shit ass handwriting sometimes. But I actually like doing it. It makes me feel close to our viewers, and it makes me feel close to the people who are supporting us. And I just apologize. Oh, Mel, I apologize to you most of all, because when you go to our P.O. box, there's going to be a bunch of envelopes there where the address was either illegible or I formatted it wrong, and I will send you some stamps so you can redo them. So
okay, yeah, I need to stop by the post office probably next week when we get back from Gloucester. Becky said their 21-year-old Katie adored the dance sticker so much.
Oh, I'm so glad.
That was
dream and never cease eternity. Thank you, Alex Oliveira, for designing.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Mary Malarkey, for becoming a member. That's amazing. I love it. Let's see.
Feel free if you have questions to put in the chat anytime. We're not doing the thing where we'll only answer it if you're paying. Like we'll actually, if it's a question that relates to what we're talking about, we'll be happy to answer your questions and stuff. So
we do appreciate that. Thanks, Christine.
Yes.
Is that €5?
Euro. Yes.
Hello, ladies.
For €5, you can buy a really nice bottle of French wine in St. Martin. Just saying.
Yeah.
The wine prices there were incredible. Anyway. So you're launching a politics show. When is your aim to launch this? What are you hoping for?
I think probably by the end of the month. I need to.
Ooh, it's fast.
Yeah, I mean, and it's obviously like our recording schedule and then the recording schedule for the in between. And I think I'll maybe do it twice a month, not every week, because it's just like I have to organize guests, and I think that's the hardest part. You know how that goes.
It is.
Yeah. But there's plenty of stuff to talk about. I won't ever run out of material. So there's that. Oh, that's very sweet.
I didn't use Mel's address. I used the P.O. box. That's the P.O. box. That's the actual official address of this podcast.
Oh, the P.O.
A lot of people know my address. Like listeners send me gifts and stuff sometimes. And I'm like, I've never been. The issue is where I live, the state in which I live. If you're a homeowner, you cannot be anonymous unless you own your house like in a trust name or something, because tax records are all public in New Hampshire. So, what county I live in, you can 100% find me. Hate to break it to you. Anyway,
hey, let me ask your opinion on a New Hampshire. I don't know if it's become law yet, but what's happening with the inspection?
Oh, so that's an interesting story. So
it was pounds. We said euros. It was pounds.
Oh, it was pounds. Oh, sorry. Yeah. All I saw was a squiggle. You guys know I can't read, right? You know that.
We're American.
Unless I put these suckers on.
We're real American. Oh, I like those.
Thank you. These are some of the ugly ones. I have like 15 pairs of these.
No, I love
they have a lot of glare though. So in New Hampshire, our legislature, which is comprises very interesting personalities this go around. We have a citizen legislature. It's the second largest deliberative body in the world. It's more than 400 people. And they get paid $1 a year plus mileage. So imagine the types of people who are able to run and serve as legislators, either older people who are retired, people who are unemployed or unemployable,
white,
or rich people. Like that's it. That's the entirety of our legislators. Or people who have the kinds of jobs where they can just walk out and some people are, business people, lawyers, whatever, business owners. So it's a very interesting body. And they passed a law that the governor signed. I remember it was part of the budget. I can't remember that car inspections will no longer be required in the state of New Hampshire. Now, the way it works now is you get your car inspection every month, your birthday month, same as lots of other places. And you also pay a tax on your car every year that declines in value every year. So other states have done this. And when other states have done it, the data show lots of people die or get hurt or kill other people.
Yes.
Because uninspected cars, if some folks, inspection will still be a voluntary thing, but a lot of people would not get their car inspected were it not a law. So the most important thing I think that happens during car inspections, the two most important things are brakes and tires. Every car inspection, like every other year, I need new tires. And I'm like, I was no way I would have known that if I hadn't gotten my car inspected. So what's happened now is there's a federal matter, I think a federal suit against the state they put like a pause on the implementation of the law, which was supposed to be this month or beginning of the year. And because the EPA has emissions requirements that are taken care of at inspection. So who knows what's going to happen right now? It's being pushed back till April, the implementation of the law. But I plan on getting my cars inspected anyway because I don't want to kill other people.
I get that.
Live lived free or die. We also don't have a motorcycle helmet law in our state.
Or a seatbelt law
or a seatbelt law.
Car insurance.
You cannot have insurance if you don't have a loan on your car. You cannot wear your seatbelt, but then you'll want to turn off that thing that tells you to put it on every 2 seconds because all cars have that now. Yeah, no seatbelt law except for kids in the back seat, and no helmet law.
Yep.
It's an interesting place to live.
Live free or die, motherfuckers.
Live free or die. Live free or die. But you can build an ADU in your yard if you want. Like,
love it.
It's a lot that you can do in New Hampshire that you can't do elsewhere. We also have no taxes and therefore no funding for anything. The only taxes we have are property taxes.
How are your roads?
And our roads are actually not bad. We literally in our state, our inmates at our federal prison, our state prisons make license plates. Like that is still happening in the state of New Hampshire. Inmates do road cleanup. I know it happens in other states too, but like our state infrastructure for plowing, I live in a town with a very aggressive budget. Unfortunately, my taxes, I don't know what you pay in property taxes. I pay $15,000 in property taxes and I live in a modest home in New Hampshire. Like it's wild, but that pays for it's the only taxes that pays for everything. So our plowing is quite good.
We're getting a lot of comments that the Banfield verdict is in. So we'll wait to hear what's happening with that. I just Googled it, but I didn't see anything yet. If anybody,
it hasn't been announced. It's in, but not yet announced.
Yeah, I think so. And then also this made me laugh, TC nerd, because they said call back to when Yannetti pulled out his readers for I think it was Julie Albert. And I actually was just watching that testimony today because I was
testimony?
watching. The Bukaki testimony, because I was watching Samantha B do break down body language. Her latest video, which I think she posted today, was that she's basically able to prove based on testimony and slip ups that John was in the house. So I would suggest everybody go over and watch.
Whose feed is that?
Samantha. I can never pronounce her last name. It's not. All I can think of is Bongino because you always call him
Benigno. It's like
Benigno.
That's how I was mispronouncing. That's why I was mispronouncing Bongino.
Oh, it is Benigno. Samantha Benigno.
Something like that. It's close to that.
Anyway,
she's a body language person.
Yeah, she's the one who breaks down demeanor and body language and all that stuff. I think she's pretty good at it. But she went through all the testimony.
Benigno. Or Benigno.
Samantha Benigno. Anyway, go over and watch her latest video. She apparently in real time, as she's watching the video, starts to realize that they are telling us that John was in the house. I didn't get through the whole video yet, but I do love her work and I think you should go follow her. And while you're following her, come on back over here and make sure you like this video and comment and subscribe. Rebecca, we haven't even started talking about news yet.
Okay.
Couple of things that have nothing to do with Karen Reed. I wanted to get your take very briefly. We're not going to get into it too much because it could be political, but 2 journalists were arrested this week.
Yep.
Dawn Lemon and I have to remember her name. Georgia Fort. Both journalists are Black and they were arrested because the federal government said that they took part in a riot and a rowdy protest at a church. Both journalists were there with producers and microphones interviewing people and covering the riot that was happening, but they in no way took part in this, and I wouldn't even call it wasn't a riot, it was a protest.
Right.
They in no way took part in the protest. And in fact, Don Lemon on camera several times identified himself as a journalist. And when he was called an activist or called a protester, he corrected the person calling him that and said, no, 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 no. I'm not part of this group. I'm here covering this. I'm an independent journalist.
Right.
The DEA showed up at Fort's address and at her home with no prior notice or anything like that and arrested her. They are both, they've both bailed themselves out, and they have both said that they are going to fight the charges. The only journalists who I've been noticing who are getting arrested or being harassed are mostly Black journalists.
It's not surprising in any way. So it's kind of clear that, let me say this the way that I want. Let me say it the way that I mean it. Let me say what I mean, but say it in a way that what I mean cannot be misinterpreted. How about that?
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that for a swath of America, there are acceptable groups to target and to believe are bad actors. Okay.
Yes.
This is why we had, for instance, I won't go into it. We had 2 shootings within a week in the same place, and one of them got a lot more attention than the other one. Okay. Like, this is why a lot of things like this happen. I never thought in my entire life I'd be put in a position to defend Don Lemon. I am not a fan of that
Me
guy.
either.
I'm not a CNN fan. I'm also not a Lemon fan. I'm not an MSN fan. Like, I am not a fan of
the shit he pulled with SE Cup. I was done with Don Lemon.
Oh yeah, I'm not a fan.
But I will defend him.
That being said,
yeah.
If you don't believe that somebody who is a good faith documenter, journalist, is there, even if it were somebody from OAN or Fox or what's the other one, the America one? Newsmax. Those people should be allowed to have cameras and microphones in public spaces to record the news. Like, period. And it's hard for me to imagine that this one will make it through the courts. But the problem is no one trusts the courts anymore now either. So yeah, it's stunning. It's really, really stunning. Everybody should be very worried about it. Everybody should be worried about what's happening in the Georgia elections office. And they're just very objectively, which by the way is staffed also entirely by people of color. Yes. Everybody should be very concerned about what is perceived as an easy target because a swath of America won't pay attention because of who the target is, despite the Constitution being violated, because there's always but he was being an activist. But she was going to run him over. But those people were untrained and definitely mess with ballots. But things that you wouldn't say about certain people are comfortable saying about other people. So we should be paying attention to this Don Lemon and Georgia Fort story, especially the Don Lemon one is obviously more high profile because he's more of a name that people know. Yeah, and again, I cannot believe I'm in a position to defend Don Lemon. I never thought it'd see the day. Never thought it'd see the day. But here I am.
Well, I mean, I feel the same way when I sometimes stand up for Marjorie Taylor Greene or I stand up for Candace Owens. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you can't be all bad sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, there are good things.
Bad people have rights, though. They do.
Yeah.
We're talking about civil rights here, and these people have rights.
Yeah. Well, and also we've been talking about this for now going on 3 years because Turtleboy is dealing with the same shit. He was a journalist who was arrested and accused of witness intimidation for being a journalist. He tweeted
something that shocked me about this. And now, granted, he tweeted something that shocked me about this. And granted, there's been a lot of tweets. His initial tweet was that he doesn't care about Don Lemon being arrested because Don Lemon doesn't care about him being arrested. I almost picked up the phone,
Aidan,
to call him because I was like, that is the most absurd thing you could possibly, because you expect strangers to care about you.
Yes.
Like, so.
But take the you out of it. You expect strangers to care about the First Amendment.
Yeah. Yeah. And so people he hates or doesn't trust who have the same thing that happens to them, whether or not they know him or not, in my opinion, he should care about that.
Well, I mean, he's still out there talking about Trump derangement syndrome, and I'm like, at this point, buddy, you're the one who has Trump derangement.
Well, he also has Turtleboy derangement syndrome, which
yeah,
I understand. By the way, I understand the Trump derangement syndrome thing. I really do, and I actually believe that it's true in some instances. I do believe there are so many people who are just
on both sides
reflexively angry about the election of Donald Trump or the existence of Donald Trump that he literally, even when he does things that you're like, oh, wow, I'm surprised he made that decision because that seems very pro-social justice, or that's what I would have done. They have to find an angle to make it evil in some way. And it's like, you can live in the world and not put everybody through that filter. And there are people like that around Turtleboy that like, he literally cannot win. Anyway, like the verdict at 5:00. All right.
Yeah. So we'll be here. Yeah. And I think that giving anyone your, like, someone you don't know, especially, but if you have a belief about who somebody is or what they believe in, and it aligns with what you believe in, when they do something stupid, you should also still be able to say that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we've lost, I think, in this country.
Yes.
Is we've chosen these sides and we cannot be proven wrong anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's a problem. That's a problem. That's what I was saying about the Abby Phillips show, because what I see there are people going to their polar opposites and refusing to give any inch, even when we're talking about pedophiles, even when we're talking about journalists being jailed, even when we're talking about
actual
whistleblowers,
actual Nazis.
Like, they're like, well, he wasn't. I mean, he was just waving to the crowd. And I'm like, he wasn't waving. He was literally throwing up a Heil Hitler. Like, you should be able to. We've lost that, and everybody. It makes me so sad.
There should be some collective things around which we all agree. As just as many of us agreed about the corruption in the Karen Reed case. It was a great coalition builder. I believe in coalition building things. I really, really do. And I think that a journalist's arrest could be a coalition builder. I think that Preddy's shooting is a coalition builder because the arguments now are that he shouldn't have been carrying a gun to a protest, and we know that that's legal. Coalition building.
Not only is it legal, but
coalition building around the treatment of undocumented immigrants. There should be that. Do you know that people don't know that being undocumented in the United States is not illegal? Like, people don't know that. People are saying, well, they're committing a crime. It's not illegal. It is a civil offense. Yes. It is not a criminal offense. And there should be coalitions being built around that, because if a civil offense now can get you arrested, what other civil offenses could potentially get you arrested? Like that, there's I think a lot of opportunity for coalition building. I wish it was happening more, just like there's coalition building around the Karen Reed case and the Turtleboy case and all the other weird things that we usually talk about on the show.
Which we will get to in just a moment. Do you want to just, do you see this comment on the screen from TC Nerd? I think it's interesting. I thought you might want to
turn TC Nerd. What does it say? There has never been.
Oh, I can read it to you. Sorry.
Yeah.
There has been so much violence interrupting religious services. I think that being within the church sanctuary makes a big fact difference. What are your thoughts?
I think that a church where a rally is happening is also a public gathering space. And if the leaders of the church were comfortable with the gathering and the protest happening there, they were also comfortable with coverage of it. So I think that
wait, can you just clarify what you mean by that? Because I think that the protesters came into the church.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The protesters came into the church and they started protesting.
Yep.
And the worshipers,
That's allowed under the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. It is allowed.
The federal government saying that they were trampling on their religious freedoms.
Maybe that's an interesting interpretation. It's a very interesting interpretation, and I could actually make that case as well. But is it? The trampling on religious freedoms things, it's a shield and a sword. So it's used as a shield to say Scientologists don't pay taxes, because Scientology is a legitimate church with legitimate. Scientology is a grifting cult. It's not even in question that it's a grifting cult, and it does tremendous harm to people, and their tenets aren't even, they change all the time. Like so you can start a church and use it as a shield for anything, and then you can use it as a sword for protecting, real, legitimately. It's funny. We're talking about the Elizabeth Smart documentary that just came out.
Yeah. Yep.
And I interviewed the directors of it, and we're going to be talking about it on Crime Writers this coming week. So it's interesting to me that Elizabeth Smart and her captors, that he was able to get away with having these two women and walk freely with them around Salt Lake because he safety pinned these napkins over their faces, right?
Right. They just could see their eyes. Yeah.
And in some ways, I think it was actually the right thing that cops didn't just walk over and rip that napkin off of her face.
That moment when they were in the library and literally homicide detectives walked up to her and said, "Hey, we're looking for this missing girl and we'd like to check and see if this girl is the one that's missing."
And he said no.
And her captor said no, and they had to abide.
And I think because it was Salt Lake in particular, I think the same thing might happen in New York if you have like a good cop, right? A cop who understands the Constitution. Or places that are diverse, the same thing might happen, right?
Sure.
But if it were a Muslim person, we'd be having a very different conversation about it. Theoretically, even though I think people would some people would find that acceptable, but like a veil is a veil. And I think the fact that it was Salt Lake in particular, where religion is held up, I mean, it really guides the entire. I mean, the prosecutor in that case was a Mormon. Like everybody in that case, everybody you'll hear interviewed in that entire documentary who's like from there is a Mormon, right? And it's so guided by those principles of upholding the tenets of the church and the church and the church and the church and the church. And there's plenty to say about Mormons as well, but we won't go there right now. That the fact that he used that as his shield actually kept Elizabeth Smart in captivity longer. And I just thought that was a very interesting aspect of it that I was not comfortable asking the directors about, but it's something that I think about a lot but it's also, it is a powerful sword as well. So there's a good case. That being said, a journalist covering,
that's what I was about to say. What you're going to say is what I'm going to say.
If protesters ran into a church, a journalist has the First Amendment right to go into that church to cover that, even if it's violating the religious freedom of the people in the church that the protesters went in. It's like saying a journalist shouldn't be able to cover somebody's shooting because you're exploiting a murder. No, a journalist should be able to cover what is happening to people in the public. That's what I meant by that. So,
or that you can't record ICE agents while they're making an arrest.
Right. Journalists should be able to record real events in real time in public spaces. Period. And if there were a fire in the church, are they saying that a journalist shouldn't have been able to turn on their camera and cover it? If there were a domestic dispute in the church, if there were, think about other violations that could have been happening in that church, of course a journalist should be able to cover it, even if it's Don Lemon, who I'm not a fan of. So anyway, that's where I stand.
Okay. We can move on from that. It's going to get everyone fired up. Let's see. What do you want to dive into next? I think we can transition into Turtleboy stuff because we've got a couple of topics.
The hearing
and also the back and forth between Turtleboy and Sue O'Connell. Where do you want to start?
Do you see that Turtleboy would like me to moderate a conversation between the two of them?
Oh, that would be great.
He tweeted about that today.
That they came on our show, but
I did the same, and then he was like, Rebecca Lavoie should do it because she's a journalist, and I don't agree with her either. And I was like, okay. So his whole thing, I find their relationship very interesting, because he clearly respects her, otherwise he wouldn't acknowledge her so frequently, right? And she she clearly has some sort of begrudging respect for him, otherwise she wouldn't acknowledge him so frequently. So they are both arguably I would say Ted Daniel is here too, like the two most important journalists who covered the Karen Reed case while it was ongoing. And of course, and you can fight me on this argument with me. We would not know about it if it were not for Turtleboy, and he began to cover it independently of Karen Reed stuff, feeding him information. That is a known thing. Anyway, so he was this began about him tweeting about Don Lemon, right? And then it started this debate. And Sue, I'm a fan of yours for many reasons. You do way too much on Twitter. Like, I understand she wants to be engaged. She wants to be responsive. She wants to have real conversations. she also will do them till she dies. Like, she will not stop. She sort of relentlessly tweets out the rules of journalism over and over and over again.
Yes.
She relentlessly tries to delineate between her role as a journalist and a commentator, and when they cross and when they don't. And it's like she sends out journalist code of ethics. She's just so, she still believes that if people have information, they will believe something different than what they already believe. She still believes that, rather than trying to meet people where they are, and having and starting with that real conversation and then having it be real. So this thing between the two of them, they've been sort of debating, I guess, on Twitter, and I'm in the thread. I'm now in the replies. So like I'm getting all of them. And then I said, he said debate, and I was like, not a debate. You guys should have a conversation. Like, we'll moderate it if you want. And he's like, Rebecca Lavoie should moderate. And I was like,
call me.
You guys can come on the show. I would love to. I mean, I honestly think, and I said this on Twitter, I think that they would personally like each other. I can't help but think that. Yeah.
I think I called it a debate, and you were like, it would be like a meeting of the mind. And I was like, it'll probably be a little.
That was you. Yeah. You were the debate. Yes. But I think that they, I think that whatever begrudging respect they have for one another would grow if they, and he actually said today in a tweet, I think this is better done as an in-person conversation. It would be more concise. It would be smarter. And I'm like, everything is better as an in-person conversation. Everything. That being said, I still haven't called John DePietro back, and never will, probably. So yeah, everything would be better. So I'm all about it. And if they're interested in coming on the show and having this discussion with me or with both of us or with just you, like, I'll produce if it's you. I don't care. Like, I will. I think that this would be a good place, because we do talk about journalism a lot, as you know, too. I work.
Well, that's why I suggested it.
Journalism outlet. So yeah.
And I think that, and I'll say this about Turtleboy, you can respond to who he is online, but if you don't take the time to speak with him in person, then you aren't going to ever know if he's a human being or not. You know what I mean? So, and I think that can be said for so many people that are polarizing online sometimes. Like, I would, if I had the opportunity to sit down with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I would take it in a second. I want to talk to that woman as a human being. I would take it in a second. Nancy Mace, I would do it in a second.
No, you don't want Nancy Mace.
I do. No, I do. And I would sit down with
She's got other stuff going on besides disagreeing with you politically. She's got other stuff going on. Did you read the story today about the Reddit stuff?
Oh, yeah. I would sit down with Tucker Carlson. I will sit down with anybody, because what we have become are people on the internet, and we are no longer human to each other. And once we are human to one another, then we can start treating each other like humans, because we're not doing that right now.
Right.
You know, we're in our fractions.
Turtleboy is as guilty of that as anybody else. If he's
absolutely
reflexively whatever about somebody, he'll say a thing, and I'll just be like, oh, maybe, like, if it were me, I would have had that be an inside thought. That's just me, though. That's not my brand. And Sue is so reserved, but at the same time will not stop spitting the facts. Like, she won't stop. And I'm like, no. I think if she picked her battles, she'd be more effective. I do appreciate that she's embraced new media, though. I appreciate it a lot. She's on TikTok. She's on Insta. She uses Twitter. I super appreciate it. She uses Twitter the way that I used it in like 2013, though. She's just like, someone tweets at me, I got to respond. It's like, no, you do not have to respond when someone tweets at you. If I did, I'd be defending myself from being called the C word 100 times a day. So
I'm seeing that. Wait, hold on. Brennan's deviated septum says 5150 shut her X and YT accounts down. She got a cease and desist letter evidently.
I don't like that nickname 5150, by the way.
Tell me about it. I don't know what it
5150 is a police term for people who need to be like taken into protective custody because they're having mental issues. And I know that nickname was given to her, whatever. I don't care for it. I don't like glibly using mental health stuff against people. I can say I believe that she has mental health issues. I really do. But I think that that's a derisive name and I don't like it. I know. Don't bother with DePietro. He's trash. I'm not gonna. But like
every time that
I do have his phone number in my DMs though. So liberalism is a grifting cult. It's all a grifting cult, guys. It's all a grifting cult.
All of it.
It's all, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you, Diane. I don't know if you're trying to get me to disagree with you. It's all a grifting cult, the whole thing.
I think we all start to realize that it's like, it's not conservatives versus liberals. It's this sort of like ruling class versus the rest of us.
Power versus the rest of us, period.
And once we understand that we're actually on the same side, but we might have different opinions about how to live our lives and how to spend money, it's literally us against them, unfortunately.
100%.
And I wish people would start to get it in their brains.
Maybe
because
someday.
And Mary, like Mary's saying with Tucker Carlson, like giving me side eye. Yes, because Tucker Carlson at the end of the day is a human being. And if he is sitting in a room with me, another human being, and I can talk to him and not just yell at him into the void on the internet the way he does and the way that I do sometimes, then we see each other as human beings and we might actually listen to one another. I'm not saying I can change Tucker Carlson's mind. I'm not saying he can change my mind.
He's got some interesting takes. Like, he didn't think we should bomb Iran. He's like, there's 70 million people there. Like, what are we doing? You know, but it's us against Russia too. People don't think that that's real.
Yeah.
It's us.
We've known it. Okay.
Regular people against.
This is me. I'm about to fall off the cliff, Rebecca. I'm about to fall off the cliff.
Let's leave. Let's move on.
You do not want to get me started on Russia.
Turtleboy. Let's get back to Turtleboy and Sue O'Donnell.
You do not.
Yes, guys, come on the show and have a conversation. I would love to moderate it. Mel would love to moderate, or we both love to moderate. If we feel like it would be too chaotic, we could take turns moderating. It doesn't matter the format, but that would be. I think the two of you need to talk. But
yes,
there was a hearing.
The big hearing. Yes.
And the hearing was about there are two mega motions in Turtleboy's case currently written by Mark Betterow. One was to recuse special prosecutor Robert Cosgrove. And the other one is to dismiss the cases against him. And the only remaining cases against him, the legal case against him now, is around the witness intimidation statute in Massachusetts being used to accuse him of a crime because the Alberts and McCabe's said they were very, very afraid of him. And
bullshit.
So there's the incidents. There's a accumulation of incidents. There's also the incident at D&E Pizza. And then, of course, we found out this week that Jen McCabe was actually following him around in a car with Lindsey Gaitani and Kate Peter. No, it wasn't Kate Peter. It was Lindsey Gaitani and these two other women, clearly afraid of him. But yeah, so you watched that hearing.
I did. It was wild. And the reason why I think it was wild is because, okay, so everybody was really coming after the judge because he was being really hard on Betterow.
Yes.
And seemed to be giving Cosgrove a lot of leeway.
Yes.
But we've been watching these trials and these judges long enough to know that sometimes judges do that because they want to make sure it's on the record that they're not siding one way or the other or looking like they have any kind of moral leanings or whatever it might be. And so to me, like, I don't think Betterow totally took offense. He said it was a hot bench, and that's obviously lawyer speak for the judge coming at him pretty hard. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Prove your arguments in court, because the thing is, when the judge was being tough on Betterow, so just to set this up, the motion is basically, this was all about Lindsey Gaitani. The whole thing, basically. The issue is that Cosgrove has an issue because Lindsey Gaitani is now suing him.
Yes, among other people.
And she is suing him. And so that makes he shouldn't be involved in Aidan's case, because at some point, Lindsey Gaitani is going to come up in this case, whether she is a witness or not. But the judge is like, okay, well, what happens if she's a witness? How are we going to handle this? And Cosgrove, that moment where he goes, well, what are you going to do if they do put Lindsey Gaitani on the stand? And she says in open court, well, you have a conflict of interest because I'm suing you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And Cosgrove, like the most 9-month pregnant pause, went, well, I don't really know what we're going to do in that situation, Judge.
Well, his solutions were weird too. It was like, we can either make sure she doesn't say that, to which the judge said in a shocking, I was very shocked.
That was so misogynistic.
He was like, this doesn't seem like a very controllable witness.
Yeah.
And then the other option that was thrown out was they could just bring in someone just to question her.
Yeah. So they want, so just to be clear, Cosgrove is already the sub, because he's a special prosecutor, because no one else can really why is he a special prosecutor on this case? What happened?
Because
Because Mello, because
was a
Ken
special
Mello.
prosecutor, and he's sick. And Mello is the one who has all the files at his house that they can't get.
They're like, just go over and get them.
Go
They were
knock on
supposed
the
to do
door.
that. Go over and get them. You know where he is.
Yeah, I remember the judge was like, "No, you can just send him something the way it happens to everybody else." And it's like, he's clearly not responsive to whatever the hell is going on.
This is ridiculous. This
yeah.
is so ridiculous. And so we have a second special prosecutor. And now this special prosecutor has a conflict of interest because of a witness, a major witness in this case. And here's the thing that I found really interesting is, well, one among many things. It is very obvious to me that either that the judge actually, I think, saw what Lindsey Gaitani did in the past few days on Twitter. Do you want to talk about what Lindsey Gaitani did on Twitter?
We know that Cosgrove saw because he talked about it in court. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned this briefly earlier. Lindsey Gaitani has been like on and off of Twitter, like in the last few weeks, on and off and on and off and on. And sometimes she comes on and she will like have this. Now, for those who don't know, just briefly, Lindsey Gaitani is an ex of Turtleboy. They had a very contentious breakup. After they broke up, she started working with Kate Peter and Brian Tully of the Cops and Ken Mello on this crusade to get Turtleboy in trouble so he would be arrested. That's essentially what happened. That is a very, very, very shorthand version of what happened. She accused him of things. The charges of those things were later dropped. There was a whole other legal situation that ended up settling. But she has since been so burned, I think, by these anti-Karen Reed people that she's decided to sort of wander back to the light side and be very transparent about everything that she saw while she was over there.
Sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but there's a verdict.
Oh, go to the verdict.
Hold on. There's going to be an ad popped up first. Sorry.
Okay.
I think I can get rid of it. Oh my God, stupid ads. Hold on, everybody. Oh. Whoa.
All right. Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 2.
It was guilty.
Juror number 5.
Yes.
Juror number 9.
Yes.
You're polling, right?
Juror 10.
Yes.
Juror number 12.
Yes.
Juror number 19.
Yes.
Juror number 22.
Yes.
Juror number 25.
Yes.
Juror number 28.
Yes.
Juror number 32.
Yes.
Juror number 34.
Yes.
Juror number 37.
Yes.
Thank you.
The court does find that the jury verdict is unanimous at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, this completes your service in this case, and I know I speak for everybody. We thank you in this difficult case for all the time and attention you've taken to it. I do need to go back to the jury room for one more time, and I'll be back there in a few minutes just to talk to you.
Have them read the charges. Hold on a second.
Guilty of aggravated murder and related offenses in the death of his wife and Joseph Ryan.
Yeah.
I can say I am not particularly surprised by that one. What about you?
No, nope, not surprised at all. I mean, also, he was just an awful witness.
In the courtroom.
Oh my goodness.
Reading, please. Thank you.
Hold on a sec. We'll just watch this back one more time. Yeah, he looks nervous. I think he knows.
He's shy again, somebody says. Yes, he was definitely played a little bit of a shy guy on the stand. I did watch some of his testimony.
Divorce is always cheaper, folks. You got that right.
Dusty Rose says, wonder if he will do the warden's taxes. I like the guy in the Shawshank Redemption.
I love that movie. I'm looking for the behavior panel, looking at his testimony. Me too.
His testimony, it was such a mistake to have him testify.
Oh, so bad. Such a mistake. He knows. Look at his face.
Oh, yeah, he knows.
But also, I think he's guilty. So maybe it's also just guilt on his face.
I think he's guilty too. I think it's a strange case, though, and I do think it's strange how the police came up with their theory of the crime. I don't like it. I don't like the once again. I think he probably did it. I don't like the investigation at all. It happens a lot, though. By the way, it happens.
It's been happening a lot lately. Yeah.
Shawshank is my all-time favorite movie. Fun story about Shawshank. Let's see if they're going to talk.
Juror number 9.
Here we go.
Nope.
You were the foreperson in this case, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and are these the verdicts of the jury?
Yes, it is.
And are they unanimous?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, he knows. Look at that face. He's terrified.
In criminal case number FE 2024-666, count 1, we, the jury on the issue, join in the case of the Commonwealth of Virginia versus Brendan Robert Banfield, defendant, find the defendant guilty of aggravated murder of Joseph Ryan and Christine Banfield as part of the same act or transaction.
All right.
Case number FE 2024-666.
There you
Count
have
4.
it.
By the way,
You know,
this is fair. If I were not so personally invested in all this, I might feel exactly the same way, but I don't. But I think this is a good faith argument about Turtleboy here. He starts crap and then cries wolf. I don't think that's a bad faith opinion. If your main exposure to him is on social media, it's not my opinion, but I think that's not a bad faith opinion, and I don't blame you for having it. We're not on opposite. We might be on opposite sides about that, but we're not on opposite sides of our lives. So
yeah.
what do you think about that verdict? Do you think it was deserved?
I do. I have to, when I see things like this, my first instinct is our prison system is horrendous.
Yeah.
And sometimes torturous.
Often torturous.
And it's private, these private prisons. It's awful. It's awful. I don't believe in taking anyone's life, and I think you should be punished for taking someone's life. But in these moments, I also think about the fact that a decision that you made to murder your wife and another man has taken your entire life away from you too. Was it worth it? Because you are going to spend the rest of your life in prison being tortured and in usually overcrowded places where you are going to get your ass handed to you on a daily basis because you murdered your wife. And I can't help but also feel empathy for someone who's probably feeling that immense amount of fear and just how terrified they must be to go to prison, even though they've killed somebody. So in these moments when they read guilty verdicts like this, unless they are just this, heinous monster who is a sadist or whatever, it's hard for me to see past the humanity and to know that 4 people have now lost their lives because of one ridiculously stupid decision that you made to take someone else's life when you could have just gotten divorced, and it was probably all about money. And that's,
I completely agree with you.
That's all I can think about.
Nothing makes me angrier when there's public glee around a guilty verdict.
Yeah.
At the end of the Murdaugh trial,
Mm-hmm.
when I saw the reactions of the public outside and I saw the reactions on social media, I was like, are you kidding me? There are like 2 dead people, a guy who's left a family that has gone into decay, a guy who he did it. I mean, probably, but the case was weird. There's a lot of misconduct in the courtroom and stuff. And I don't think they told a good story in the courtroom, but we should be beyond the public glee of people being found guilty of heinous crimes. Like that is something that, because the thing that we don't seem to have learned, like think of all the true crime documentaries and podcasts you've watched and listened to where it turns out the person who everybody thinks did it didn't, but then it plays back all the coverage of it with Nancy Grace and the public cheering and stuff. And you're like, oh my God, how could they be like that? That's so horrible. You are being like that. Even if you cheer on the conviction of somebody who did it, you are being that disgusting person who's screaming on TV how glad they are someone is convicted. It's like so tragic. I think it's freaking horrible. And yes, he was found guilty, which was probably the right decision. Especially after I saw his testimony. Yeah, I always try to put myself in the mind of a juror, not like what do I actually think, but what if I were a juror and I was actually doing my job well. And before he testified, I was like, I think that the defense did a reasonably good job in this case, dismantling some of the investigative stuff. When he was testifying, I was like, they just undid all of that progress that they made. They undid all of it. So, I don't want anyone to kill anybody else. I want us to stop killing each other, but I also want to stop lifelong incarceration, because I think that's just a form of slow death and torture as well.
And to me, that's still like, the two wrongs don't make a right, the eye for an eye kind of thing. And I'm probably going to get a lot of pushback and a lot of, hate about these
A lot of people
but
feel the way you do. I feel the same way. I'm also very anti-death penalty, which
I'm very anti-death
I don't
penalty
think
as
should be a political talking point at all. I think it should just be a human rights talking point, as the Catholic Church sees it, as a bunch of human rights groups see it. Also, it does nothing to reduce recidivism, and not recidivism. It does nothing to deter crime. Of course, it doesn't. Recidivism. Yes, the person now is a zombie and they committed more crimes. It does nothing to deter crime. Data shows it. Data shows it's far more expensive to have somebody on death row than it is to have them in any other kind of incarceration. It does not bring families peace, and all the families, like some say it does, but most of the data shows it does not. And it sort of, I think, stokes this public glee in bad things happening to bad people, and that's gross in my opinion. But I think the jury made the right call in this case to find him guilty, because I believe he is guilty. But
I mean, I think that I've said this before and I'll keep saying it. I do believe humans have the ability to make great changes in their life and change who they are as human beings as they grow. And that can happen when you're 80 and it can happen when you're 5. And I think that if our prison system was focused more on psychology and giving people the mental health help they need, that we would see smaller prison sentences, we would see less death. If people could understand how to psychologically deal with their issues.
Have you seen Quilters, the documentary Quilters?
No, but I've heard you talk about it before. I still haven't watched it.
You should watch it.
The name, I'm just like, I don't want to watch.
You should watch it. It's incredible.
Okay.
It's about a quilting program in a men's prison. And these are like hardened inmates making the most. And it's only about their humanity. And it is so beautiful and so good. Highly recommend.
The dog programs in prisons are some of my favorite. But then I think about, oh God, when they actually have to like give their dog away, or like it gets adopted, like the pain and anguish they must feel when that happens, it also hurts me. And then I think about, Pam Smart talks to me all the time about the arts program that she's been in for like 15, 20 years. Basically, it's like healing through the arts. They do theater, they write, they draw. They did like 15, 20 years ago, they did a writing program with Eve Ensler, who came to the prison. And she, at that point in time, I think she must have been in her 30s, somewhere in her 30s. That was the first time she ever sat down and started to like think about her own psychology and write about what happened. And I just think we need more of those kind of programs than solitary confinement or shitty nitrate filled food that are, like hot dogs and beans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and more physical activity and more community. And I think the thing that we keep talking about is the thing that like breaks us down as humans is when we are polarized, when we're stuck on these opposite sides. And that's the entire prison system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I got to say about that. But anyway,
Matthew Farwell.
Well, no, we're still on the Turtleboy
Oh,
trial.
we're still on the trial. We're still on the hearing. Sorry.
Yeah, so this whole thing's about Lindsey Gaitani. And Lindsey, like you said, you had started talking about how she's been sort of going back and forth on Twitter. And last week, she was like, okay, I'm going to start spilling some of the tea. And she put out a string of text messages between her and Jen McCabe and these two other women who, and keep in mind, this is after Jen McCabe was already saying that Turtleboy was intimidating her. This was around the same time.
This was just a couple weeks before her testimony in trial 1.
When she was so terrified and her family was so terrified that they would figure out. And the thing that I couldn't get from the text messages was it sounds to me like someone within the police department or somebody who had knowledge of where Aidan was going to be was giving them that information. And then they were all jumping in their cars. And even one of the texts from Jen McCabe is like, woohoo, let's go get him, basically. Woohoo. And they all go jump in their cars and they follow Aidan all over town, even to, I think he was at a daycare.
I think he went to 2 police stations, and they were looking at him from like a school parking lot.
And they took a picture of his car with his license plate, all that stuff. So the things that they're saying that he is guilty of, they're doing to him. And this made me think of that video. Do you remember the video of the guy driving around with
Mass
Colin?
accountability. Yep.
Mass accountability. It made me think of that video too. These people are actually not intimidated and they are not scared. They are used to controlling the narrative. And when they don't control the narrative, then, oh my God, I'm being intimidated.
I think that mass accountability video is one of the most important things I have seen.
So crazy.
And I'm not a fan of that guy at all.
No.
But that guy was literally, he drove through Canton and he was literally followed by Chris and Colin Albert. He posted the full unedited video.
Yes.
I don't know if it's still up, but you can see it.
I think
it's not edited. He was followed by them, pulled over into a cemetery, watched Colin Albert drive by a couple of times, like spot him, and then found them. He saw them going to the police station. And they went to the police station and there's body worn camera footage of them filing a harassment police report against a guy they were following.
Totally.
I think it's incredibly important footage. I really do. It really it says everything you need to know about these folks. Like, they love abusing the criminal legal system to get what they want. They really seem to enjoy it. You know why? Because it's worked for them in the past. I just want to make an observation, Mel.
Yes.
Seems like 5 might be a good time to start our streams, because our stream number like doubled after the 5 o'clock hour.
Oh, wow.
Just
look at that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have dinner plans tonight. That's why we started a little bit early. Isn't that what's happening?
6:30. And we leave like 6:15-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe in the future we'll do 5 o'clock. I think that'd be good for everybody. It's fine. It's good for me. So, anyway, as part of this, the thing that blew my mind is it seemed to me that the judge and Cosgrove had seen these tweets from Lindsey Gaitani and literally brought them up in this hearing to be like, she's unreliable because she's switched sides now. They were talking about how she switched sides. I'm like, okay, we're not switching sides here. If you are a human being who realizes that people have been using you to attack someone else and you think that that's wrong, you are not switching sides. You are coming to some sort of consciousness that makes you understand who the bad people are. And you are, and I'm going to say this about Lindsey Gaitani. I don't know her personally. I know a lot of people have like totally torn her apart online for what she said about Aidan, their relationship, all that stuff. I don't care about any of the personal stuff. What I know is that for a woman like Lindsey Gaitani, in the position that she's in the area that she lives in, what she is doing right now takes an incredible amount of courage. Because we've already seen someone like Sandra Birchmore be taken out of this world by police officers. Like, that's got to be on her mind. She is dealing with, the coven and all of their associations with police in the area. And this is what I've been asking for from Kelly Dever. This is what I want Kelly Dever to do. I want Kelly Dever to pull a Lindsey Gaitani and start fucking talking, because it shows so much courage. And for the judge and the prosecutor to make her seem like she's some flighty woman who's just flip-flopping back and forth, whoever's going to give her the most attention on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. They're not saying those things. I'm paraphrasing all this stuff, but that's the way it seemed. There wasn't a woman in the courtroom who was talking about this woman who might be a witness in this hearing, in this trial. If she is put on the stand, the defense has every fucking right. And if Cosgrove is still involved, the defense has every fucking right to be like, conflict of interest. She's suing this guy because of misconduct. We shouldn't even be having a hearing about it. This is straight up misconduct. It's there for a whole world to see. This guy should have nothing to do with this witness, especially because it pertains to Aidan's case. And for the judge came hard at Betterow. And he kind of came hard at Cosgrove too, but like, what do you want to do about this if you have to, ask her questions? And he's like, oh, I don't know, Judge. But I think the judge is making sure that it's on the record that he is being even. But I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell at the end of it whether he's going to disqualify Cosgrove or not. I'm starting to think that maybe he's not going to.
Oh, I don't think he's going to, but I think He signaled that he is giving serious consideration to the motion to dismiss, which that's the next hearing. So,
yeah. Well, he said it too. He said they have strong arguments. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, this is the issue. I don't think he wants to, and I understand this. I think Cosgrove should recuse himself, but I do understand a judge being potentially worried that this is a tactic that could be repeated in future cases in order to get prosecutors disqualified.
Sure.
I mean, and I understand. I mean, I think that this is a very, very unusual situation. And the one thing to know about judges, especially normal judges, is that they are very hesitant to set any kind of precedent or do anything that is not something that is done. Like, you know what I mean? And so that's how he read to me. He read to me as a, and I agree that the motion Cosgrove wrote was misogynist slop. What somebody does on what Lindsey Gaitani's past is, the judge should have say it has no bearing at all on whether or not she's going to be a witness or whatever. The problem is Cosgrove keeps bringing it up, and he keeps bringing in this extra textual material. And so it is a matter for the court to consider. We can call it misogynistic or not, but it is in front of this judge. And I can imagine a world in which he is afraid to give this a go, because what's to say that theoretically, in this particular case, if a new prosecutor comes in, that some other witness won't file a lawsuit against a new prosecutor. Like, I'm not saying that will happen. I know this is a very unusual situation, but I could imagine that hesitance coming in. But he did say at the end of the hearing that the motion to dismiss was strong. So that tells me it's going to get real consideration, unlike motions to dismiss in a lot of cases. Somebody put in here that aren't Lindsey and Aidan a couple again. They are not. I can tell you that with some certainty. So, and a lot of people love your takes and think that she's brave. And I think that you don't have to like her, respect her, think that she's a good person to agree with Mel on this. I agree with her too. I think that Lindsey Gaitani was manipulated hardcore by some people with a real agenda, who also had money to spend on that agenda. And I think that she
got a couch for Christ's sake.
No, that was Kate Peter who got the couch.
Oh shit. I thought it was Gaetani. Are you sure?
Allegedly. I think it was Kate Peter, allegedly, yes. And she posted the Wayfair receipt and said, I bought this couch myself. It's like, this is my issue with Twitter. You do not have to engage with that shit. You don't. You don't. The reason that the JD Vance couch jokes have kind of gone away is because he stopped engaging with them. Granted, some people, one still pops up every so often. It's also a myth that there was ever in the book. It's a total myth. He never fucked a couch, but that's a myth that keeps popping up. But the reason why it isn't a daily thing is because, he's engaged with it. Like, I think that Kate Peter, like a lot of people, make the mistake of engaging with literally everything that comes their way, like Sue O'Connell. And that makes things never go away. So the couch thing is a funny story, probably not true, that will go with her probably for the rest of her life. Lindsey was used and thrown away by the Commonwealth. I agree.
Wait, did you see that comment I put up earlier? That was a good one.
I did.
This was a good one, I thought. I think he's rushing a trial before the change of DA. That could be. But I don't know how the judge.
Why would the judge doesn't care who the DA is? I
don't know.
The judge wouldn't do that.
Because the judge is like, let's keep moving on this.
It's been a very long, no, he's not rushing to trial. It has been years. He just wants it to go to trial. There is no way that this judge is like, I don't want to try this with the current DA. No way. No way. I don't buy. I mean, I think Beverly Cannoni, I've put it on record. I think she's in decline, and I think she lacks the passion and the brains to do what she used to apparently be very good at doing. And I think that there are other things sort of behind her clear bias in that courtroom, including, I think, being personally affronted about lawyer from another state coming in and doing the case. A lot going on there. What I never do buy, though, is clearly the judge wants a different DA. No. That's not how judges, their job is safe, man. They don't they're not going to get fired when there's a new DA in the house. It doesn't work that way. They're all friends with each other. They're all friends with the lawyers. Like, this is not a situation where judges are all sitting in a room together talking about how they can get things done before Adam Deitch comes into office. I promise that is not what's going on. I'm sure some of them are secretly psyched about that, but they also probably would not allow that. They wouldn't delay a trial. And somebody has a constitutional right to an expedient trial. I believe it's the Sixth Amendment. And I could be wrong about that, by the way. I'm always wrong about I oversee a podcast about civics, but everything I know about history I learned from John Adams, the HBO show, so don't at me.
My old sound mixer did the sound on that show.
Oh, really? That show was great. That show was great. Paul Giamatti was great in that. The weird sex that he had with Abigail when she finally went to
I think all Paul Giamatti sex is weird sex, so.
Exactly. It's so good. So good. But you could tell it was done on kind of a lowish budget because at the Battle of Bunker Hill, and they were watching it from their house, and you could only see it as a series of flashes from very far away, like a fireworks display. I'm like, they didn't have any budget for battles in this. So yeah, he probably should have had a trial a very, very long time ago, but the state kept kicking the can with not being prepared and so forth. So
yeah.
No, Bev and AJ definitely never shared a ham sandwich.
Never shared a ham sandwich.
Remember that? Remember when he was like, and did you laugh as you were eating your ham sandwich?
Ham sandwich.
That was the angriest I ever saw Brennan get during the entire thing. Was so the ham sandwich.
He was angry because the ARCA guys were just handing him his ass.
I know. Such a
all of their experts. Yeah, all the experts from the defense just handed Brennan his ass.
Was there? Oh yes, like and subscribe to our show if you think that what we're doing is anything close to something you might like to look at like that in the future. You can unsubscribe later if you want. Because consider becoming a member, and I'll send you some stickers. And thank you, Broken Baker, for sending all of these people over to our stream. We
I didn't even see that.
That's why the audience went up after 5 because Broken.
Oh, it wasn't 5 o'clock.
Okay. No, I still think there's something at 5 o'clock though.
And if you like what we're doing and you feel like it, there's a QR code on the screen. That's our Venmo, or you can, on the bottom of the screen, you can Venmo or Cash App if you want to leave us a tip. It's greatly appreciated. YouTube, we're going to start making some money from YouTube, but it's like once a month.
It's like a couple $100.
It's a little bit difficult. So, if you feel like tipping, I appreciate it. Oh, thanks, Queen of Hearts, for subbing. Okay, so there's a couple more things we have to talk about. What time do you have like a heart out? What time are you out of here?
My heart out would be like 10 or 6:15, something like that. I just had to make sure I could text Kevin and ask him to take the dogs out at some point. So
okay, let's talk about Farwell then. I think that's the last big thing that we had to talk about, unless the listeners have any other ideas that they wanted us to discuss right quick. But what's happening with Matthew Farwell in the Sandra Birchmore case?
Well, we know that the judge rejected Matthew Farwell's change of venue request.
Yes.
Matthew Farwell seemed to believe, or his lawyer seemed to believe, he would get a fairer trial in the state of Rhode Island, which, if you're not from New England, is literally 5 seconds away from Boston.
And it's pretty much the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's really like you drive through Rhode Island, depending on which way you go. If like you want to go to like Mohegan Sun, like you could take the way that's through to Rhode Island. It's like you're in Rhode Island for like 20 seconds. It's so small, but it's basically the same state, except even more corrupt, if that's possible. But Matthew Farwell filed his motion to dismiss, and I thought the premise of his motion was very interesting, and it's actually a question I've had at my own dinner table, which is that the indictment against him is about killing a witness or victim, right? And he basically says in his motion to dismiss, how do you know she was going to go talk to the cops about any of this? How can you say she was a witness? It doesn't say he definitely didn't do it. It basically just says, I mean, I think, I'm a big fan of the word allegedly. I'm a big fan of saying my opinion. I'm a big fan of sort of couching what I say because I absolutely could be wrong about a lot of things. I am pretty freaking sure I am not wrong that Matthew Farwell murdered Sandra Birchmore because there's literally video of him walking into her apartment right before it happened and video of him walking right out at a few minutes later. And then he's wearing the same clothes the next morning at the birth of his kid. And all the text evidence really kind of points in that direction. Will you let me in? Will you whatever? Can I come over to show you something? Anyway, I am pretty sure this guy
got
did
a key to her place like
exactly
a couple weeks earlier.
But yeah, so I thought that was a very interesting motion to dismiss. But the thing is, there's two things. It's a victim too. She's also a victim. But there's this sort of assumption, and he's not wrong that in the civil rights field, I'm not saying he's not wrong. I'm saying it's an interesting argument to make that how do you know she would have been a witness? Now, I actually have a theory about this that I take, and I don't know if the feds have thought of it. I don't know if anybody has thought of it, but a lot of mandatory reporters did know that she had been abused as a child and was continually being abused by these police officers, who are also, by the way, mandatory reporters. So it is completely within the realm of possibility that a mandatory reporter at some point in her life could have reported what was happening with her or did happen to her to the police, in which case she would technically be a victim and potentially a witness. So she did have contact with law enforcement, even though she didn't do it directly.
Yeah.
We know there were other cops who knew, and other cops are mandatory reporters. Farwell's a mandatory reporter. So
how about
actually, technically anybody's a mandatory reporter. That's the way it works. But anyway.
Robert Devine, maybe?
Devine, mandatory reporter.
He was just this, it was a couple weeks ago, I guess. He was actually brought up on, let's see if I can get it right. The State Police Oversight Commission moved to revoke his law enforcement certification for a pattern of unprofessional police conduct and untruthfulness, particularly regarding his relationship with Sandra Birchmore. He also had a relationship with Sandra Birchmore.
Yes.
Allegedly.
We don't know who the father of that baby was right now either.
We do not. So they opened up the commission, the post commission, which we've been talking about a lot here lately, opened up disciplinary proceedings against Devine following the results of a shocking 19-month internal affairs investigation into the Stoughton Police Department, sparked by Birchmore's death. The report alleges Devine and two former officers, twins Matthew and William Farwell, had inappropriate relationships with Birchmore. I hate it when they say inappropriate relationships. I mean, I get it.
Sorry.
It's really difficult to...
I fucking hate YouTube. I'm posting the link there to that mass accountability video. Somebody asked for it.
Oh, it's difficult to explain. And I find this all the time. I always stumble over my words when I talk about what happened between Billy Flynn and Pamela Smart. I often don't have a choice, as I have to call it a relationship, but it's it's inappropriate. There's a power dynamic at play here. And unfortunately, Sandra Birchmore started being groomed by these three men, at least, when she was 13 years old, when she was going to a place, the Explorers program, where she was hoping to find community and guidance and looking, starting to think about what her life might be like. And these three men, these three powerful white men, chose to take advantage of her, groomed her at 13, and killed her. One of them killed her 10 years later, allegedly. So
the depravity too, that him and his twin, that's depraved.
Well, I think Farwell and I think the Farwell twins were sort of following in Devine's lead. From everything I've read about Devine, he was sort of the ringmaster here. The report that the post commission just did alleges that he had on-duty sex with Birchmore in December of 2020 and then lied to investigators about it after she was found dead. I mean, he's known this child since she's not a child. She wasn't a child when she was murdered, but she was a child when he met her, which is 13 years old.
Yeah.
And there are so many, I can't remember, the Boston Globe, maybe it was a spotlight piece that they did on cops. I think it was actually about Devine specifically. They had all of these victims of his who chose to speak out. And it was an audio program. It was an audio production. So it was all these women talking about how he groomed them and what he did to them. And he did it for so many years. And then it sounds to me like he recognized something in the Farwell brothers and then brought them into the fold and started teaching them how they can also get away with it.
It was the culture, man, because that Stoughton police chief knew too. And she didn't do anything. They all knew. And they all, I guarantee this is what their private conversation sounded like. Oh, that girl's crazy. Oh yeah. She'll fuck anyone.
She's an easy mark.
Crazy.
She's an easy
mark. And I know they were like, she's a loose cannon. She's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would. And even if they knew it was wrong, that there was all these conversations. And you know why? I hate using the word crazy, but do you know why she was? Because they made her that way.
Yeah.
They groomed her to equate violent sex with love.
Yes.
That was the grooming. If you read those text messages in that indictment, which are stunning.
Sick. Yeah.
She was groomed to believe that rape and violent sex were our love. That's what she was groomed to believe. And it is, she clearly had mental health issues too. Of course, they groomed her to have those too. And you just can't help but wonder, like, what her life would have been like had she never been in contact with any of these people. But could she have had issues? Sure. Would she have been sexually assaulted by a bunch of different people in power and then murdered? Maybe not.
Probably not.
So yeah, the animal control cop The school resource officer knew.
Yes. Like, and the commission, here's the thing I don't understand. Why isn't something more happening to Divine? So like the commission is they decertified the Farwell twins in 2024. So now, it's happening now, hopefully for Divine, but after 3 years of proceedings, including a 4-day hearing in which Divine himself testified under oath, the commission agreed with the results of the internal affairs investigation, writing in its decision that Divine also lied about communicating with Birchmore between November of 2020 and up until the day of her death. Are we sure that there wasn't more than one person? Are we sure? Like, what did these cops do to this poor kid? Up until the day she died, he was communicating with her.
Yeah.
And what is happening to him?
I would like to address this comment. Brennan's deviated septum. It's tiring when you say white men, women, you're going to lose viewers when your politics take over a conversation everyone can talk about. It is a fact that they are white men. And this is not about politics. It's about power. Yes. And this, in my opinion, should be an area of agreement. What kind of people have power versus people that don't have power? And it is historically accurate and currently accurate to say people with the most power in this country are white. That's not political. That's data driven, and it's true. And I'm sorry that you feel like it's tiring, but we're not talking about something that's untrue, and we're not the ones who made it political. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that off now. So, and also we're not talking about you. I don't have to say not all white men. Like, we're not talking about you.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, when a comment comes out like that, my first instinct is to be like, "Oh, are you a white guy?" I'm sure that offends you, but you got to get more comfortable with being offended because it's facts, it's truth that, like, and I'm going to put the umbrella over me. We as white folks need to start pointing it out more, because these micro sort of aggressions of moving through the world and not understanding our own privilege is what causes some of these problems. We need to start talking about our own privilege. So that's 100%. What I'm doing here.
100%. All right, let's move on. So you were talking about Divine.
Divine, if he in fact groomed her and raped her or did whatever happened before the age of, Ruby's back, before the age of 18, why is he not being charged?
That's an excellent question. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Morrissey has declined to pursue any prosecutions in this case.
Okay, can we talk about that real quick? Why is he not trying to charge Farwell? I don't understand.
So there's a truism here.
Ruby.
Hello, Ruby. So there's a truism here that we're also seeing play out in the Michael Cox situation, okay? There is this idea that investigations and the pursuit of convictions against law enforcement. And remember, who is the top cop in Norfolk County? It's Michael Morrissey. The district attorney is often called the top cop. Okay.
Meatball.
You just used a fat shaming word against Michael Morrissey. But we have to say, it is a sharply funny one.
Fat shaming.
It is.
Wait, hold on.
I thought he's shaped like a meatball.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was his face.
Which is shaped like a meatball also.
No, it's like pitted. It looks like a meatball.
Oh, maybe. That's what I don't know. I always assumed it was because
I'm not fat shaming anyone, but he got a meatball face.
I always thought it was because he's covered in marinara. He likes to roll around in spaghetti.
Speaking of marinara and spaghetti, the thing I wanted to do for my 50th birthday is I wanted to make you all homemade spaghetti and homemade red sauce. And that's what I'm going to do.
I'm Italian. It's my favorite thing to make. And so I love eating other people's as well.
Great.
Meatballs are delicious and too good. Meatballs, by the way, are
why do I have two Italians coming? You and Ellen.
Meatballs are the perfect food, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think it's like when I
hands down,
when I'm like nauseous and I can't eat anything, I almost always can eat a meatball.
Absolutely. Put it on a stick. I love meat on a stick.
I'll order, if you go to like a real Italian place like in the North End, or you go to like any real Italian restaurant, really the kind I grew up going to in New York, like you can get a side of meatball, like one meatball.
One meatball.
And I always get one to go as well.
Meatball.
Big ass meatball and a bucket of, there's a place in Manchester. It's not great, but it's also not bad. They sell buckets of meatballs. Not bad.
I make a good meatball. I'm making meatballs, by the way.
If your face is a meatball, your face is a meatball. So anyway, as I was saying, there is a thing with these people in power, all the way up to the governor of Massachusetts, all the way up to the attorney general of the state of Massachusetts, but specifically the top cop of Norfolk County. Anything that is wrong on his watch involving other cops is ultimately going to be a stain on his legacy. This is what we know Michael Cox has said about not pursuing prosecutions against corrupt cops in Boston. So there is a instinct for institutions to protect their own. Think about the Catholic Church abuse scandal. Think about the sexual assaults happening at private schools. Think about, prep schools. Think about, there's no such thing as an institution that has at some point not tried to protect itself. There isn't. We printed this story at NHPR yesterday about Dean Kamen. The inventor Dean Kamen. He has been put on leave from the nonprofit he leads that does children's robotics by the board because of his inclusion in the Epstein documents. And you always have to wonder. You always have to wonder. Wasn't this known before it came out? And this, yes, I mean, this is something that's been talked about, something that was known. I mean, there's things that have been, but it's like when it's not disputable is when we have to do something. The issue with Morrissey that's weird is that it's not disputable. No, the texts are out there now. Like the indictment has all that material out there. And I understand sometimes also that prosecutors don't want to prosecute while there's a concurrent investigation going on. So maybe that's his excuse now. But there's no excuse other than an institution protecting itself. That is the reason. I mean, that is the reason.
Forget about the text. Go all the way back to Karen Reed and him getting in front of the camera in his hostage video and all but saying that Karen Reed was guilty. The man is compromised. Like, he can't do that as a prosecutor. He should have been kicked the fuck out at that point in time. Obviously, no one can kick him out because it's a, political situation. But, like, the guy just does what he wants to do and what he thinks is right, and he's going to side with the cops. I mean, he's made that very clear. He's going to side with the cops.
Well, they're good guys. They're just doing the job.
And I agree that, like, cops have power. Like, that is the power structure. But you add being a white male on top of being a cop, and you're almost untouchable, especially in Massachusetts. I mean, look how they treat it. Okay, so a great distinction between white cops having power and brown and black cops not having as much power is Nick Barrows.
Yeah. Although I think isn't he white? Isn't he Greek?
Barrows?
You think Greek isn't white?
I'm saying brown. He's brown.
Oh. I think we can agree to disagree on that. I don't know. If there's any Greek people in the chat, you can let me know what you think.
But I'm just saying, like, they tried to tear him down. And, it's just I don't know. When you have... And especially with Sandra, I hate
Portuguese. He's Portuguese. Sorry, he's European.
I hate the idea that this narrative that children, girls or boys who don't grow up with a father or don't grow up with a mother, either or.
Apparently, Nicholas Barris, by the way, is ethnically very ambiguous. We got a lot of votes for different things, but I actually do think he's Portuguese. There's a huge Portuguese community in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. It's well known. So I think he talked about his Portuguese relatives on the stand. Remember when he said, "Hey, you know how they all are? They all look out the window."
Yeah. So anyway, I think that, what was I saying? Oh, this narrative that people say, like, well, Sandra didn't have a father figure, so she had to go to the Explorers program to find. I'm like, listen, you guys, stop doing that. It doesn't matter whether she had a mother and a father at home. If she had gone to do the Explorers program, she probably still would have been groomed. It doesn't matter if she had a mother or a father or neither at home.
The Catholic Church.
Thank you. Good God, can we stop saying that? Can we stop saying, well, she didn't have a father figure, so that's what happened to her? I'm like, oh, so it's like this underhanded way to continue blaming Sandra Birchmore for what happened to her.
Of course.
It's bullshit.
She grew up in chaotic circumstances. Yes, and that made her ripe for your abuse. I know that we know Barrows is Portuguese. I got it. We got it.
He's brown.
Is he? That's European. There's a whole conversation to be had there. I think they just didn't like him because he didn't go along with their stuff.
I mean, I think if he had been white, I think people would have believed him more.
I think if he had said anything, he would have tried to be discredited because these people, Brandon Barrows is also hot. 100%.
I'm gonna
snack.
as the
Snack, snack,
lesbian in
snack.
the room, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with the fact that Barros is hot, and it's because he's a good man who has a really nice face.
I believe that the myth that Dever is related to Jen McCabe is a myth, actually. I don't think that that's true. Guarino did not miss the text messages. Guarino saw the text messages and said they didn't matter.
They didn't matter.
Yeah.
They didn't matter to Sandra Birchmore and her death. They didn't matter. Thanks a lot, Nick Guarino.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to generalize. I'm like my son lived in Europe for a summer. My co-podcaster Toby lives in Spain now. And these are just like
real white.
They're complex conversations, and I didn't mean to stumble into it. I didn't. When I look at Barros, I see cop. And I didn't read him as a person of color, but that doesn't mean he's not. And I'm sorry about that.
And
okay,
it's just
I'm part French and part Spanish, and I'm white. Okay, we're not having this conversation. I stepped in it. We know I stepped in it.
Listen,
we stepped in it. Let's just talk about the fact that
everyone disregard us. We're just two white women talking about the color of someone else's skin.
And white women, as we know, are the worst. That's been well documented.
Karen,
for reals, yo, for reals.
Karen, you're hot.
You know, it's this guy getting all pissy in here. Whenever you say white men, I'm like, dude, you think white women aren't like worse? White women are worse.
White women are so much worse. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry.
And I'm okay with you saying that, because it is in fact true, and I don't take it as a personal thing that I become all hurt about, and I don't feel the need to
because you accept that we have been problematic in the past, that we have not understood our privilege in the past
and in the current.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
So predators go where their prey are. Yes, predators do. Yes. Integrity is very attractive on everyone. Hence,
amen.
Hence,
snaps for that.
Inspired by Mr. David Yannetti.
Notice it doesn't say I heart straight thumbs.
No, I don't like a thumb. And it's nothing to do with you being bald. You can be bald and wonderful, and you can be bald and a thumb, and those guys are all thumbs. So what else did we have on the list today? Anything?
That is all I had on the list, I think.
White liberal women, you mean? No, I mean all of them, Breenan. Breenan, you
definitely
really
all of them.
Breenan's deviated.
He's just trying.
I know you're trying to be provocative, and I understand that you are in an echo chamber where you have decided one thing is true. You said liberals are a grifty cult. I said everybody is a grifty cult, and you can't even be like, oh, okay, she's saying that she agrees with me on the one thing. You can't even say that my glass is half full because she agrees with me about half of it. Mm-hmm. White women are the worst. Period. And saying liberal white men are the worst, you're agreeing with half of me. So just let's say I live in that area of 50% agreement instead of you having to be so pokey. It's very annoying. And also I could just be ignoring you, and I usually do that, but like for whatever reason you're annoying.
Your voice just went up to a couple. Like,
I know.
higher octave. You're being. I can't even go that high. My voice doesn't go that high.
Yeah. That was my Disney World. When I went to Disney World the first time as an adult, which is like the first time I ever like became a Disney person, we'd be like on the roller coaster, be taking off, and I'd be like, oh no, because that was my feeling inside my gut when we went on a roller coaster.
Do you have different voices when do you talk for your dogs?
100%.
Me too.
Briscoe's real dumb. Briscoe's like, okay.
Aw.
Yeah.
Ruby is like a scrappy little tomboy who has a lot to say. So,
and how does Ruby sound like Brian Higgins?
Oh no. She's got like a scrappy, like raspy little kid voice. You want me to do it? Yeah. You have to ask me a question. I can't just do it right off the top. So hold
Ruby.
On. Let me get Rubes. Wait, hold on. Let's get Rubes. Okay, here's Ruby.
Ruby, is it time for you to be fed dinner?
Oh my God, it's way past my dinner time. I don't know what Mom's doing. She's still working so much.
That's good.
That's
really good. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think that should be in your new opening montage. Just take out the part where I say the F word, because it's probably getting us brought down in the algorithm by
That's
YouTube.
So stupid. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Every single person says the F word. Have you noticed that mainstream media, they've been allowing F-bombs to drop all over the place? I'm like,
it's just a word.
If CNN and MSNBC are allowed to, in the first 5 seconds of their show, say fuck this and fuck that, then why is YouTube not allowing that?
It's just a word. Causing the death of a child in utero is count 2. And so that this is 2 counts of killing witness or victim, cause of challenge utero. He has a motion to dismiss the case. His trial is currently scheduled to begin in October of 2026. I'd be surprised if that happened because these hearings keep getting delayed. The whatchamacallit hearing, what's the one where they decide the conference, scheduling conference was supposed to be like in February, and now it's going to be in April. So like everything keeps getting pushed back. So yeah, I'll be surprised if this thing goes to trial in 2026.
And just to put it out there, because I feel like we have to, Matthew Farwell does absolutely deny that he killed her.
Yeah.
Just put that on the record. He says
but
he
he
is
also
not
says,
guilty of this crime.
Say she would have become a witness and talked to the police. So basically his motion to dismiss basically argues that this should not be a federal prosecution. That's like the nut of it. And it shouldn't be federal because it doesn't hit that requirement of the statute. But again,
well, it shouldn't be federal because Karen and her dad are the ones who started this federal probe anyway.
That's right. They started all of it because a guilty person who you also believe is guilty is totally going to be like, as you said, hey, feds, come look at me.
Hey,
all the people who
I know I'm guilty and everything, but maybe like investigate me a little bit more.
Someone said that Ruby would have that they thought they'd have a smoker's type voice because she's seen some shit.
No, she's seen some shit, but she's a kid, so she's not quite there yet.
Yeah,
she doesn't have my voice.
All right, so I think we made it through most, if not all, of our list. Plus, we watched a jury being polled live. That was exciting. That was the first time we've ever brought something up live. And
sorry, I couldn't get into it fast enough. I was like clicking to share the screen, and it wasn't going through. And I was hearing them say guilty as the screen was getting ready to pop up, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But we'll figure it out.
We will.
Yeah, so I think that's all I have. I agree with you, Breenan's deviated septum on this one. I think if Deitch gets elected, that Farwell is probably going to be charged.
Little coalition being built right here.
I think that we're also going to find out more about the federal investigation into the McAlberts, and I think we're going to find out more about what actually went down with the behind the scenes shit of the investigation into John O'Keefe's death. I think we're going to find out more about Proctor.
I don't know if we will find out, but I do know that he's not going to ignore it all.
Right. Well, at least he says he's not going to.
Exactly.
I always think of the guy who was elected to be DA in Adnan's case, who just completely reneged and went back on everything that he said he was going to do.
Or like that sheriff in California who ran as a Democrat and was like, surprise, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he will drop Aidan's charges. Maybe.
It's all politics. Once you get into office, it's all politics and things change.
What I find interesting about that comment, Stephanie, is that if he does decide to drop Aidan's charges, like, how is that going to square with some of Aidan's politics?
Oh, I don't think he cares about the party of the person who drops his charges. I really don't. I mean, in Massachusetts, almost everybody's a Democrat. He's just living with but Adam Deitch doesn't take office until January of 2027. Aidan Kearney's trial is scheduled for 2026. There is no way. I mean, I would be very surprised. This judge seems very intent on having this trial happen or to dismiss it. So there's just no way this is going to go into 2027. It's just hard to imagine. That would be a very expensive PR campaign for the McAlberts to continue to do as well. Although they're doing it for their civil case as well.
Can I tell you one quick pop culture observation I've made in the past couple of weeks?
Is it about General Hospital? Because I have many.
No, but it's about the Pit.
Oh, what about the Pit?
I don't like watching it every week. I like watching it all in one. It's not a big enough cliffhanger. It's weird. It's the way they end the episodes. I'm like, what did I just do for the past 45 minutes?
I like saving up like 2 and watching 2 at a time because I can't. It's so gory. The other thing about the Pit, I love the Pit. Don't get me wrong, but they are really leaning into some of the character development a little too strongly this season. I'm like, I know that Mel is nervous about her deposition, but we went from thinking like, oh, maybe she's on the spectrum too. I think she is too. Her being like bright lights, sound too much. Like it's like okay, and then also the charge nurse is like the accent has completely changed. Has gotten much stronger. Like everything has just gotten like bigger, better, stronger. So I love her though. I love her too. I love when the show approaches things with a little bit more subtlety, but then again, people come in with a headache and end up crashing 5 minutes later. So it's not really a subtle show. I love it. It's so fun. There is
will
so much
talk
to talk
about.
about with General Hospital.
There is.
100%. I
I
really
think
want to do like a General Hospital show someday. Nobody cares except for me. Yes, we know she's Bryan Cranston's daughter. Nobody cares except for me and like 8 other people, but I care about it a lot. So
I'm Denise. Sorry,
yes.
every time I see that name, it makes me laugh so hard. So thank you for doing that. I think we should do a members only AMA, and then we can talk about General Hospital. Or we could do a members only General Hospital
By
discussion.
the way, I totally fucking called it that Willow was going to be found not guilty and then actually try to kill Drew, because in soap opera land, that would count as double jeopardy, even though it's a different crime, because that's how soap operas work. So anyway, I'm loving it right now. I'm loving it.
I think I'll moderate that discussion for you. I
You'll
don't
be
know
like,
enough
what,
about.
who, what? Sometimes,
I was a Days of Our Lives
so much
fan.
will happen on an episode that like I'll tell Kevin about it over dinner, and he's just, God love him. He'll just be like, wow, yeah.
I realize,
And he's
what I realized?
inside.
Another pop culture thing, and I thought of Kevin. I had to show pictures of Kevin to Lindsey last night so she could see what I was talking about. Have you watched the show Task with Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo and Kevin are the same person.
They're similar, yeah. Mark Ruffalo has that. I love a hangdog man, and like Mark Ruffalo has that hangdog.
His hair's a little too long in Task.
He's one of my favorite actors.
Me too. And if he gave himself a trim, he and Kevin would look so much alike.
Yes. I am an expert in soap opera law. One of the interesting things about soap opera law is that you can be a criminal defense lawyer and also do cases in family court. You can also do people's wills and contracts. You're basically like a utility knife if you are a lawyer on soap operas. You can do all of it. You know everything about everything.
Okay, this could go off the rails really fast. So I have to go make dinner for the fam.
I gotta go out.
And you are
We're going out.
To dinner. How's your finger? Did you take your meds? I didn't even notice. Did you take your meds?
I took them while you were talking. At one point, my alarm went off, and my next alarm is at.
I didn't even hear it.
I know. I didn't do it as loud as that video played. My next alarm is at 7:00, so I will bring my Tylenol to dinner.
Do you know what happened to me while I was on the phone while we've been doing this?
What?
My friggin' train got canceled tomorrow. I'm gonna have to drive. Ugh. I'm so mad. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, thank you all. I appreciate everybody that's been here, even the people who say funny things.
The people who needled me. Join our Facebook group if you want to have respectful, intelligent disagreements and discussions.
Ethical.
It's, Something's Off with Mel Baird and Rebecca Lavoie. Find us on Facebook. We'll let you in if you're not an asshole. Give Mel a tip or a Venmo or a Cash App tip for the show. If you think that we did an extra good job today, you can throw a few bucks her way. She makes the show. Works really hard at it. Merch is being worked on. The special edition stickers for February. So if you become a member and put your name on our form that is on the homepage of our channel, just let me know you'd rather wait for the February stickers and I'll send you those. But if you want stickers now, just don't say anything and I'll send you the current stickers we have. But the February stickers are cute.
And merch.
I just said merch is coming. Merch is coming.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. But we're gonna have like a
merch
page,
t-shirts,
it's
socks.
Gonna be on the. Everybody wants a DANCE shirt, I think. So
I think we should do that, and I think that my Valentine's designs should maybe make some merch as well.
Do you know? Does this make sense to you, Rebecca? This comment.
Helen Wagner? Do you mean Christina Wagner?
Oh shit, she's correcting the name. Oh wait, there's another one. My mom was friends with Nancy's sister.
Oh, Nancy Lee Gann.
Look at her.
Nancy Lee Gann plays Alexis on General Hospital.
Oh, I know Alexis.
And Christina Wagner has played Felicia Scorpio for like
Felicia Scorpio. I know all these names. Okay.
Wild. It's wild. And they just lost her son recently, which is really sad. Anyway.
Also, there was one other thing we didn't talk about, just a couple of minutes here, but Guthrie's missing mother.
Oh, Savannah Guthrie's mother. I mean, I haven't checked the news since we've been on the show.
No,
but
I'll check while you're talking.
Savannah Guthrie's mother lives in Arizona and went missing. And the police are saying it was a crime. She didn't just wander away like we often assume with older people, which, by the way, is kind of ageist because we take older people's disappearances less seriously because the assumption is always that they wandered away. And also when they wander away, the search for them is less robust than people who've actually like had other bad things happen to them. That's a whole data thing that's really interesting. But yes, I am following that, and we will talk about that on Thursday if there's anything to discuss there, because that's really wild.
Well, 2 hours ago, they said that the search has become a crime scene. There was what began as an urgent search has become a crime scene.
Yeah,
that's terrifying. Okay, we're gonna bounce off here because I just lost my light.
Savannah Guthrie, by the way, lawyer. I believe she was a prosecutor for many years. And then she was the White House
just interviewed Serena Williams, and I've been saying that Serena's been hinting that she's going to come out of retirement this year, and I think she's going to. And Savannah Guthrie like went hard asking her that question, and she didn't deny it. And
Savannah
Serena's
Guthrie's
my
a tennis
idol.
player. You know that, right?
I do, and Serena's my idol, and I didn't get to see her play before she retired. So if she comes back, we are going to the U.S. Open this year, and I'm going to see Serena play.
The worst interview with Serena Williams I've ever heard was on Meghan Markle's podcast. We did an episode about it on a short-lived show I had called Reality Podcast. All that Meghan Markle could talk to her friend Serena Williams was about her role as a business person. And I'm like, you're talking to fucking Serena Williams. We don't want to talk about her business leadership.
Well, maybe it was like something they set up beforehand because Serena probably got sick of talking about tennis and she was probably trying to focus.
I know they're friends.
Yeah.
The interview, I could be completely wrong. The vibe I got was not that this is exactly what Serena loves talking about. It was a very like sycophantic, weird thing. Anyway, I don't hate Meghan Markle as other people do, but like that was a bad podcast. Okay.
I don't hate her either. I think she's amazing. Okay. I love you all. Thank you for the tips. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you to
like and subscribe.
Amazing co-host, Rebecca. Please like and subscribe and share and comment and do all the things that help us with the algorithm. And we will be back on Thursday.
We will. See you then.
All right. Bye.
Bye.